So we're now into one of my favorite dishes of all because I like tacos. As much as I like bourbon, I like tequila too. Ooh. And I like margaritas even more.
This is gonna be great. I love tequila.
And what we basically did was we took this flank and marinated it in a margarita is what we did. We brought some cilantro to it, some pepper, flaked pepper, which you can see across the top as well. A little more cumin, you know, to kind of bring that nice enchilada smokiness to it without taking it a long ways in a new direction. But we've also added a little garlic on there. We're gonna sear this off on a charbroiler, bring it back out, slice it up, and we're gonna just make some tacos together. How about that?
Oh, this sounds real good.
We pair it up with margarita, but you could easily pair this up with something else. You know, it pairs really nice with like mules, things like that. Stuff that has a little bit of more of that acidic type flavor to it.
Is a cowboy gonna be able to make this dish? Is it that easy?
It is that easy. Of course, what you're gonna do to build that marinade is build your favorite margarita. You're gonna use that margarita mix or all that stuff. Build a margarita, and then you're gonna add these other ingredients into it, into a blender. And it's nothing that you don't already have, fresh lime, pepper flake, all of that stuff. Put that into a big pan and sink it down. It's one of the easiest and most flavorful dishes there is. And that's why flanks and asada tacos and things like that have been really a great pedestrian dish for a long time because people can relate to it. It's street food, it's bar food, it's cantina food, and we've elevated some of those with, pairing it with tequila and margarita, but it's still that same great cut that's easy to take care of. All right.
Well, that looks awesome.
Yeah, this is great. You can see those juices pooling a little bit under there.
And the marks on there are just
That's
really
that
nice.
part about pretty when we go to put it on the table in front of the family and make it look good. You got to show off for the family once in a while.
Yeah.
One of the important pieces with this is we want to let this rest. And the reason you want to let it rest is so all these juices that are trying to sneak out are actually cooling back inside, because as we're cooking it, it's heating up and all those juices are coming to the outside. That's how you get this nice sear. And then when you let it rest, they come back to the inside and actually pool in the center.
So how do we know how long to rest it?
There is no rule of thumb. You can rest something like this from anywhere from 5 minutes to 10, 15 minutes, depending on how hot you want it. And it's gonna be just as good. But it's gonna continue to do a little cooking, but I wanna make sure that I have something for everybody in the family, from the rare side down to this almost well done side. So normally what I like to do is cut it down the middle to shave it, but I also like to cut it this way. And by cutting it this way, what it allows me to do is visually see where the doneness level is. Take that nice sharp knife and run it along there, and that's what we come up with. So you got a little more done down here, and it gets a little more rare down there in the middle. It's nice, it's beautiful, it's gonna be tasty. And what I like to do is just do nice thin cuts, cutting it against the grain. And so cutting it against the grain, it's just like chopping wood. So you can see by cutting against the grain, what you've allowed it to do is eat better, chew better, bite better. When you're taking a big bite of taco, it just comes apart. It literally, even though we didn't braise this off, it falls apart by properly cutting it. Pile those up in there. Make them pretty again. We eat with our eyes first. Looks like we skimped that one just a little bit. We don't want to get too carried away with this. I like our beef to stay the star of the show, and so I try not to go with salsa that's too hot. People can always add their whatever salsa they want later on if they want to add a little heat. Our tortillas are a combination of flour and corn.
These are really good, Steve.
How's that beef?
That is awesome. I love the rareness of the meat. I can really taste the flavor. That is awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
For more Cowboy in the Kitchen, visit montanabeefcouncil.org.